Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Mighty number 9, grabbing the Fuel is Expensive achievement. This is to beat a stage dashing 9 or less times. This is best done in the city stage. I recommend doing this after you have Mighty number 6 and 5's weapons. I also recommend having a few other Mighty weapons just in case. So what you want to do is you want to start up the level, and to make those tricky jumps that you would otherwise need a dash for, you can use Mighty number 6's weapon, jump straight up, and then you can just use it to glide across, and then hopefully you should ledge grab whatever you need to clear the distance. With this, you should be able to beat the entire stage dashing exactly 9 times, so that doesn't leave too much of a room for a margin of error. But keep in mind that this is probably the easiest stage to do it on because it's so short. So, struggle through the first part by jumping over the boxes and trucks until you get to this part where you are taught to fight an enemy. Here is the first part where you are forced into using a dash, so that's going to be dash number 1 towards the count of 9. Always make sure you pick up health packs whenever you see them because they will refill your weapon energy, which is highly useful since you need to make sure Mighty number 6's weapon is full at all times. Use it to helicopter over the gaps in the highway. Keep in mind that since you can't use dashes, you can't Zell absorb any of the enemies, so if you do bother to fight the enemies, make sure you kill them all the way instead of absorbing them, or just ignore them outright. So just keep making your way to the right. You have another pretty hard jump right here, which is between this second box and the truck. I believe you can make it with a well-timed jump, or you could just use Mighty number 6's weapon to bypass it. Highly recommend keeping this thing on standby at all times to make these tricky jumps, and just using Mighty number 5's weapon to do all of the fighting. If you run low on weapon energy, you can always use Mighty number 1, 2, or 3's weapons, which are also pretty useful, but just keep in mind to not dash into an enemy once they start flashing, and to finish them off, or to walk past them. So as you can see right here, we're making sure we kill the enemies instead of Zell absorbing them. Once again, make sure you pick any health packs up because you need that weapon energy. It's very vital to doing this achievement because if you run out, you can get to a spot where you'll get stuck. So you are going to use Mighty number 6's helicopter again to get past that gap in the highway. The highway is going to explode. Make sure you take out these 3 guys from a distance, or you can drop straight down and ignore them. You can grab the 1-up to the left. It doesn't really play much purpose here, but if you happen to die at any point, you can take advantage of that. You can use this dead time to refill your weapon energy by standing still, so you can just put the controller down, walk away, and come back to a full weapon bar, or you can press on if you are impatient. If you go with that latter choice, you got to keep in mind that this part is pretty difficult with low weapon energy, so you have to make sure you make the most out of your other weapons, or just be very, very patient to get past this part. So make sure that weapon bar is full before moving on. You got to use the helicopter blade to make this jump. You can make it to save yourself a bit of time on that jump, but once you hit up this checkpoint right here, I actually recommend you kill yourself on purpose. That way you can respawn with not only full health, but full weapon energy as well. Alright, so if you decided to fill up your weapon energy by waiting, or if you wanted to kill yourself and do it automatically, the crescendo part should be a breeze using Mighty number 5 and Mighty number 1's weapon to pick off the enemies one at a time. Alright, once you wrap up the fight, you are going to have to clear this pretty big jump, so make sure you switch over to Mighty number 6's weapon. You want to jump straight up again, and then just use this thing to glide straight across. You should just grab the ledge. Make sure you pick up that health pack to fill up your weapon energy. Having the battalion weapon really helps out a lot, so make sure you use that. Take out these guys. Remember to not Zell absorb them, so if you get into a spot where you kill one on the corner and you can't jump over it, make sure you finish taking it out instead of jumping and dashing into them. Then you want to get to this part, and then we come up to the part where we use our second dash to get underneath this pipe. Our third dash will be used here, so we have 6 dashes left. Then you have to take out the gate guys, and this is another part where patience comes in handy, so you have to make sure you take them out from pretty far away and one at a time and without dashing into them, which can get pretty annoying. So make sure you use the most of your weapon energy. Once you get to the shield guy, I actually recommend just jumping over him. Careful for the spikes on the ceiling, obviously, and just drop down. Grab the 1-up, which we won't really be needing, and make sure you use our 4th dash to get underneath this wall. And then we have another tunnel of the gate guys, which once again you have to kill one at a time, and if you ran out of weapon energy, you have to wait until it fills back up so you can get to fighting. Alright, so it's right about here. If you were like me, you ran out of patience and just decided to tank through the last 3 gates and then made your way up to this part. There will be a health pack up here, which is a godsend since you are probably super low on weapon energy at this point. Make sure you take this guy out on the ladder, because remember, you can't dash. You also can't switch weapons while climbing ledges or ladders, so you have to make sure you drop down, jump back onto this ledge, and then switch back to Mighty number 6's weapon, because that's the only way to make this float over without hitting your head on the ceiling or without making too short of a jump. So make sure you hold the button and then you can glide over and just barely make it. Then take out the final gate guys from a distance, or if you are brave enough, you can tank through them. Try not to get knockback damage into the spikes, and you should be good in terms of the regular enemies. There's just one shield guy left, but he goes down super easy. And then we are going to use dash number 5 in order to get through the last tunnel. There should be a bunch of health packs in here, and your buddy right here gives you a health pack as well. So if you've been paying attention, that leaves us with exactly 4 dashes in order to take out the boss. So make sure you have Battalion Dude's weapon full all the way, and then you want to make sure you do as much damage as possible, and then Zell absorb the guy as soon as he starts flashing. With this, it should leave you with enough room for error where you can kill him in exactly 4 hits using this weapon, and you should take him out super fast. So if you can kill the boss with only 4 Zell absorb dashes, you should fill out the requirement with exactly 9 and get the achievement. 15 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.